Welcome back to Brawl Time. It's that time again to bring you up to speed on all the monthly finals news and storylines that you may have missed throughout May as we gear up to our Mid-Season Invitational. Which teams are currently dominating the competition? Who is struggling to make their mark? And which teams are showing the greatest signs of growing with the competition this year so far? Let's see. Kick-started May in the SESA and ANZ region, where an MSI spot was still up for grabs. If Free Win Agents failed to win their quarterfinals match, there was the real possibility that their closest rivals, FA Upper Moon, could snatch it from them. It was great to see Free Win Agents playing with their new teammate, as former FA Upper Moon player Instinct got stuck in this month, and he did not disappoint. Despite a few shaky games along the way for Free Win Agents, they did indeed secure their MSI spot, and the cherry on the cake came with a win over Serenity Esports in the grand final with a 3-0 scoreline. Very convincing at that. Following 3 consecutive monthly final wins, then Free Win Agents now boast a whopping 326 points, knocking EMEA Clash down from the #1 spot on the global leaderboard in the process to reign supreme. So what about FA Upper Moon, I hear you ask? Well, sadly for them, despite appearing in every grand final so far, this month their streak came to an end as they failed to make it through the quarterfinals and suffered a 2-0 defeat against the very team that we told you to keep a close eye on last month.
Kubic's going to push forward though, super available, the pass should be there. He passes it straight through, Lark is going to finish it off, and Serenity are going to the semi-finals.
Serenity Esports have been going from strength to strength in the SESA and ANZ region. Last month, the Australians made the semi-finals. This month, they made the grand finals. Is it then only a matter of time before they become the monthly final champions for this region? It remains to be seen, but they are, however, now in 4th place with 147 points, up from 7th place last month. They're continuously creeping up. At the moment, the majority of the teams they face is becoming a growing case of on your bike, mate, tell your story walking. Moving on then to LATAM South, and honestly, what is not to love about this region? Hands down, one of the most entertaining monthly finals that you can catch, with everything from costume changes to entering the multiverse. The players of LATAM South put as much effort into perfecting their player cams as they do into perfecting their thumbs. This month saw the biggest shift all year in this region. After consecutive grand final appearances from Arena Casito, it came as a huge blow to their supporters when they didn't qualify for the May monthly finals. They were arguably the biggest threat to EMEA Clash, and all eyes would have been on them for a potential upset. As a result, it was Clash who took their Mid-Season Invitational spot prior to the start of show. Now, I'll admit it does feel very strange to call the 2021 World Finalists underdogs. I get it. But it just goes to show then how much EMEA Clash have removed the spotlight from Chazmac Gaming this year. But this month, it was Chazmac who got their revenge. Not even superhero strength could save EMEA Clash, as Chazmac punished them into submission with a convincing 3-0 semi-finals win. When you consider then that Clash were #1 on the global leaderboard, having won every grand final this year, this win was nothing short of a powerful statement of redemption by Chazmac Gaming BR.
The Spider-Man just wasn't it. EMEA Clash, their confidence was completely shut down.
Chazmac went on to beat Zero Zone in the grand final and didn't drop a single set throughout their entire performance this month. They are now only 67 points behind EMEA Clash and have moved up from 3rd to 2nd place with 215 points following their commendable performance this month. East Asia was an absolute banger this month. Now, the battle for MSI had already been locked in by Zeta Division 1 following consecutive monthly final wins across both March and April. But the battle of the Zetas had a twist this time round. Rising Sun Esports moved up from 4th place with 141 points. A team that didn't qualify last month but who reached the grand finals back in March, where they were reverse swept by Zeta Division 1. This month, in the semi-finals, they got their second dose of Zeta. However, this time round in the form of Zeta Division 0, who would pick up the win to secure their place in the grand finals for the first time this year. Now, last month I spoke about how much I felt for the Zeta Division 0 squad, who have been randomly seeded to face off against their sister team twice this year, but this month they were not. In fact, they were on opposing sides of the bracket, and we could not have been more excited to see if they would clash for the first time this year in a grand final. And, well, ask Brawl Esports and ye shall receive. It was a long time coming for Zeta Division 0, who have never been ones to quit, and despite 2 months of swift exits to their own organization no less, they picked themselves up, and this month it was their time to rise up to the top. With an incredibly solid performance, they secured the 3-1 victory and broke Zeta Division 1's win streak. The win launched Zeta Division 0 from 5th to 3rd place on the regional leaderboard, but with 191 points, they are only one singular point away from 2nd place, which, if they could hold on to throughout the rest of the year, would mean a qualification spot at this year's World Finals. The race for securing the final spots to the Mid-Season Invitational was fierce in EMEA this month, and as was the amount of Twitter activity for roster movements. Honestly, I have no idea how I'm going to squeeze this all in, but I'm going to give it my best shot. Let's start with MSI. Tribe Gaming EU and SK Gaming had already locked in their spots, but STMN, Team Kesso, and last month's grand finalists Craze Clan were all still in contention. STMN were first to throw down the gauntlet on Craze Clan in the quarterfinals. The battle was a close one that ended in 2-1 in favor of STMN, and Team Kesso's win over OGS meant that all would be decided in the semi-finals of the upper bracket in a face-off. In what became the closest battle of the day, Team Kesso turned the pressure cooker up in the 5th and final set, and STMN were unable to stand the heat. We were then treated to a glimpse of what Team Kesso could well be capable of at the Mid-Season Invitational, as it's fair to say that despite a unanimous opinion within the pro scene of their enormous potential, they have been somewhat of a bit of an underdog in this year's competition so far. Question marks following their swift exit in the quarterfinals last month were all put to rest as they beat the regional champions Tribe Gaming EU in a 3-1 victory.
And they've done it! Team Kesso are your champions for this monthly final.
The win was a first for the org in the Brawl Stars Championship, and it was abundantly clear from the celebrations just how much it meant to all the players. As for them, this has been a very long time coming. Now, there has been a lot of activity this month in EMEA. Let's first start with Bax, who have been performing fantastically well with back-to-back semi-final appearances now. They announced picking up the 2.5-men roster going into the May monthly finals, but just hours before competing, Dean shocked us all by announcing his retirement from competitive. We, of course, wish Dean nothing but the best, and his presence in Brawl Esports will be very greatly missed. Big changes are also coming to both FA Baguette and OGS. A few weeks ago, it was confirmed that Ope would be leaving OGS to join FA Baguette, who are in 6th place on the leaderboard. Similarly, Son Bentley of OGS also tweeted that he too would be leaving the OGS roster. Now, we saw Gugu qualify for the Snapdragon Pro Series Challenge season with FA Siege. So despite no official word or roster announcement from him, it too would seem that he may well have already found a new home. The EMEA leaderboard has changed substantially this month. With a grand finals appearance, Tribe are still out on top with 276 points. Following their win this month, however, Team Kesso are not far behind at all in 2nd place with 223 points, while SK Gaming have dropped down to 3rd place, holding on to 206 points after what has been another rough monthly final for them as they exited in the quarterfinal stages yet again this month. We wrapped up the month in the NA and LATAM North region, where Tribe Gaming NA had already earned their MSI invitation regardless of how they performed, but the battle continued on between STMN and Vanguard Gaming, formerly Avengers. We also saw a roster change for Chazmat Gaming, who announced that they would be parting ways with Charles going into this month. which we were honestly a little bit surprised to see, especially given what a strong player he is. Chazmek performed decently well against Tribe Gaming NA in the quarterfinals, all things considered, but would suffer a 2-1 defeat.
And that is going to be Tribe Gaming heading on to the semifinals.
It was somewhat make or break this month for Vanguard's MSI chances, who parted ways with Polo and added Luffy to their roster in an attempt to make good on last month's swift exit in the quarterfinals. After all, they started out this year by reaching the grand finals, where they met Tribe Gaming and took them to match point. There was an intense back and forth against Batra Gaming that went all the way, but sadly it was not meant to be for Vanguard, who took a 2-1 loss, and STMN secured themselves to represent North America and LATAM North at the MSI. It was, however, somewhat of a bittersweet month for STMN. The reigning champions for the region faced Blood Diamond in the quarterfinals, a match which incidentally saw the long-awaited debut of Hachi to the BSC. It was a close battle, but the same could not be said for their semi-finals matchup against Nando Lovers, where in a huge upset, STMN were defeated in very convincing fashion. Now, speaking of Nando Lovers, were they on your radar this month? Because being completely honest, they weren't really on us. The last time we saw this roster, it was back in March as the Vatra Gaming Volcano roster, where they lost 2-0 in the quarterfinals to Chazmak Gaming NA. Now, keep a close eye on these guys in the months to follow, as despite struggling a little bit against Tribe Gaming NA in the grand finals this month, their performance was enough for them to enter the leaderboard in 6th place on 134 points. And with double points coming into the equation after MSI, they could well be a contender for the World Finals if they keep this up. Well, that is it. Our search for 8 teams to compete at this year's MSI is over, but I can assure you that the fun is only just getting started. Make sure that you're following at Brawl_Esports for more news to come regarding the event, and we'll see you all very soon on the 18th and 19th of June for the Brawl Stars Mid-Season Invitational hosted at DreamHack. We'll see you there.